Hi, greetings everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you are doing well. Of course, gonna give it a little time for persons to jump on. All right. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Kamala. Greetings, Auntie Gina's Kitchen. Hey, Shannon Dale. How are you? Big bad host. Hello. Hey, Tully's Boutique is on. Curlester. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. You know, Black Diamond, Herbert, Appleby, Mel Jaden Couture. Two of my favorite online boutiques are on now. Mel Jaden Couture and Tully's Boutique. So if you see them comment, just click and go check out the stuff that they have. Both women of Jamaican heritage. I think both of them were either born in Jamaica or have family in Jamaica. And are overseas running their businesses as entrepreneurs. So please support them. Please do. So I'm sharing with you. Hi, Quiet Storm, a fellow Morgrovian. Good to meet you. I'm sharing something, right? I say pretty often when I'm posting anything related to motherhood, I tend to mention a belief that I have, which is that children are our spiritual teachers. I really, really, really believe that. And every time I am faced with like the realization, I go, oh my God, this is actually what motherhood is about. Part of it is helping your child on their journey and just being a great guide until they can identify their true north by themselves and just take their decisions with confidence about the direction of their lives. But apart from being a journey guide to your child, it's also a journey to yourself, yeah? And there's something that I learned from my daughter, like, God no, I'm grateful for her. Learned it on Wednesday when I missed my flight to leave Jamaica. So I'm giving a little story and the two lessons that are wrapped up in there. More than two, but I'm going to settle on two. So we were leaving out of Donald Sangster International, which is Mobay. So drive down early morning from Kingston. She's at the stage where she don't forget anything, right? So the night before, to get her to bed as early as I could, I said, you know, tomorrow we're going to the airport and we're going to go on the airplane and we're going to go, we're going to fly and we're going to go to America. And she would go to our bed. And as daylight, I walk in the room, I open her curtains and I'm like, good morning, is it time to go to the airport? Like, she went to bed and woke up with that on her mind. So I'm learning very, very quickly that I have to be careful what I promise, right? Because she can remember and she has an emotional connection to it the minute it is said. So she expects it. But, you know, we leave out and head to Mobay. Got to the airport, I mean, with enough time to check in and go through the security check and all of that good stuff. And just as we are to go through security check, I said, let me run back outside because there's something I forgot to do. Went back outside, came back in, and that 5 minutes of going out and in, it mashed up the whole rhythm, right? By the time we came back, the line to go through the security check was extremely long. Our plane door closes in like, I kid you not, like 7 minutes. We're in the line and it's moving fast, but it's a whole heap of people. And we are at the line trying to get to the passport checkpoint with 7 minutes before the plane door closes. And we're hustling through and we put stuff through the scanner and all of that and take off shoes and put on back shoes and go up the escalator. And we're just like, racing through. We get to the counter and the agents, they're like, oh my God, we're looking for you because we can't make you miss this flight. So we hand over the passport, and then by the time we actually get to the counter to scan the boarding pass, the agent that's behind the counter says, the doors have been closed and we can't open it. And I mean, I literally take a deep breath and I'm saying to myself, wow, Zaya's going to be so disappointed because from she wake up, she's like, time to go to the airport, time to go on the airplane. And no, she's actually looking at the airplane and she's like, it's time to go, mommy. Time is running out. And she starts to tap my watch. You're running out of time. And I'm like, okay, we missed the plane. And she looks out and she sees the plane and she's like, no, it's right there. I said, well, the doors are closed. They're not going to open it back. and we missed the flight. We're gonna have to take another one. So of course the Spirit team, I traveled with Spirit, my first time traveling with them, and I find the staff to be just amazing. The service, I think, was excellent. Sometimes I hear people complain about it, but I never had that experience, right? So the staff at the counter, of course, facilitated us checking onto the flight the next day, same time next day. And, you know, they were very compassionate about it, just kind of engaging Zia in conversation. Say, China, say you're brave to travel with them, I swear. I know. But, I mean, backstory. I've struck American Airlines off my list. I booked a flight with them last year. Same this year. I booked a flight with them, but it would have been to travel in April. I hope I remember stuff correctly. Anyways, I go buy the ticket early with American Airlines. And they do not allow you to cancel your flight and keep your points and your money to book another flight. Even if it's more expensive, you book the other flight and you put the money on it. American Airlines eat up nearly $1,000 of money, right? I canceled the flight mostly 3 weeks or 2 weeks in advance because I had put in my passport. The visa renewal process was taking longer. If anybody renewed their visa in the last year, you know that it had like this window where you're never sure if you're gonna get it back in a 1 month or 3 months. And my process took a little bit longer. And I had booked the tickets early, realized that the book wasn't coming back in time, cancel it well ahead of time. And their policy is that if you cancel it, you lose the flight and you lose your money. So me say, me not take no more American Airlines. Yes, love them, still go Jamaica. So after them take money, I say, them can't get my money ever again. Me nah fly with them again. Any fly me fly with them, I must want free ticket. Them cannot get me have them up. May I tell you that? Yeah, me not travel with them. So when I was booking the other one, I was looking for every airline except them. So JetBlue had no flights at all going out on the days that I needed to travel, like the whole month of August. I don't know if anybody's having that same issue, but the whole month of August, me can't find a JetBlue flight. So I couldn't go with JetBlue. I checked Frontier because I had persons who traveled with Frontier already, and they loved the experience. I kid you not, Spirit was literally last on my list. I checked Frontier, the flights that they had, because I used a site that gave me the comparative costs, the price that they had. It worked out to be almost 2 times the price, 2 to 3 times the price of going with Spirit. And I'm like, nah. So I said, let me take the chance with Spirit, right? Because they had several other options. And as I said to you, their flights coming out of Mobay were frequent, which is again a blessing because they had another flight at the same time for the next day. So I turned out missing the flight, and then the day after, at the same time, they had another flight. So it worked out, right? It worked out. And I know people don't have the best experience with them, which is why I'm saying it. I've heard the stories. They were last on my list, but after I went through the options to go, that was it. And I'm glad I chose them. And I want to big up the crew, the staff, everybody who facilitated, the entire process. Traveling with a toddler is not easy. But yeah. So right, we rebooked right at the counter for the next day, no charge. But here's what happened at the counter. So we're explaining to Zia that, missed the flight, can't go on that plane. She's seen the plane, she's like, why can't we go in there? The door is closed, we can't open it back. And then she looks at another plane, like a white plane. I don't remember which airline it was, but it was a white plane. And she said, oh, okay, we can't go in the yellow one. Let's go in the white one. And I was saying to myself, wow, I love how she just hopped past that particular hurdle and challenge of not being able to go on the one we plan to go on. And let's just look for the next available option. Now, unfortunately, the planes don't work like bus work, where if you miss one bus, you can just go to the next bus within the bus stop. So, I said to her, yes, that plane is there. Yes, it is boarding, but we can't go on it because that's not our airline, and we aren't booked to go on that airline. And she kind of sat down a little bit, and she was obviously, sad about not being able to go on the plane. And she's explaining to me that her grandma is waiting for her. I'm saying, yeah, but we have to do it another day. And she just says, okay. I said, we're gonna take it tomorrow. And she says, okay. And she gets up, and we go through the airport. They took our bag off the plane. We went and collected it back at the carousel, went out, and she was just okay. No, I try not to show stress when I'm around her because I don't want her to get anxious. Like if she's okay and I am just like frustrated by something, I try to process that without showing her, because then she will want to model my behavior and my approach to the situation. So I allow her to deal with it how she's dealing with it without being influenced by my behavior. That has been a blessing, because the way she deals with it so far has been, for me, an emotional lesson, like a big emotional lesson. Yes, things don't go as planned, and this is for you, like if you have this challenge. Yes, things will not always go as planned. That's fine. It's gonna happen. Sometimes you don't expect it to happen. Sometimes you thought you were on the ball and you were about to do it, and it just never worked. What do you do next? Do you sit there and worry about the flight that you missed and all the things that you should not have done so that you could have caught the flight, right? Be upset that you're right at the door and why them never come open the door and make you go in at the flight and the plane that was right next and them just now use them discretion, and right? And all the things that have to be changed to facilitate you traveling a day later and all the inconvenience, and just be caught up in that? Or do you move on to the next option? I know it's not always easy from experience to move on to the next option. There is a very inviting culture to gripe and to moan and to complain and to quarrel and to cuss and to be a victim of the situation. That is normal. On any given day, you can go anywhere online and just join a gang of people who are victims of a situation. Don't mean that when bad things happen to you, you're not going to accept, acknowledge, and talk about the fact that it is bad. But it's the whole circus around the experience and all the things you lose and all the reasons you are angry and how long you're going to be angry and how unforgiving you're going to be and how stuck you are and you can't move until this and you're not accept it and you're going to stay until things, yeah, right? Or you move on to the next thing. For me, I know I'm always going to move on to the next thing. The question is, how long do I stay like committed and upset about the thing that I wanted not coming to fruition? And I feel like that's a challenge or a question, a spiritual question for all of us. How long are you going to stay upset about the thing that did not work? How long are you going to stand at the gate quarreling about the fact that you missed that particular flight? How long are you going to be in an altercation with the agent at the gate, telling them all the ways that they made a mistake and they're not doing their job correctly and somebody else needs to get them work and have to talk to the manager for 5 o'clock? How long are you going to do that for? How long will it take you to move past the disappointment, the failure, the unmet expectation, and then go to the next thing? How long are you going to take? That has always been a question for me. And maybe it's a question that you may have to ask yourself. I don't know if this is relevant for you, but if it is, ask yourself, like, how long am I going to stay here frustrated, sitting in the disappointment, upset that I am disappointed, demanding that the circumstances change to meet my expectations? How long before you move on to your next option? And I think the suffering happens in the window that we wait, the window that we are at woe is me, the window that we are annoyed, the window that we are frustrated. That is the suffering. That's a window of suffering. When your expectation is not met and the time you spend being offended and hurt and angry about the expectation not being met. Now that window can be long for a lot of us. It depends on exactly what the trauma, the challenge, the disappointment is that you're dealing with. But I think ultimately the question is always, well, how long will you stay there emotionally? I see a note here that says, we're not in control of everything. And that's so true. We're not. And if we accept that we're not in control, when things don't go as we planned for it to go, it's easier to accept, because I know we set the play. I know we are ref the game. I know we decide the time for each quarter and the length of each match and how long we're going to play a particular opponent. We are not making those decisions. So if we accept that it is not within our control, everything is not in our control, it makes it easier or less of an experience with suffering to accept when things don't go the way we planned and when our expectations are not met. So I wanted to share that perspective with you, just the speed with which my daughter was able to disengage from this thing that she was really excited about from the night before, and just, okay, let's move on to what the next opportunity is. You said we can't just go on that plane. Okay, it's tomorrow. Well, let's just work on tomorrow. And that has been an amazing realization for me. It's not something that I've never known, but to see it play out like in that moment, like it's a major inconvenience. All the things that you're planning to do, you know, have to push them back an entire day. All the people that are involved in the planning of those things, they are also inconvenienced. But the longer you spend being annoyed at that, is the longer it takes you to be able to put another plan in place, to set up some new things in the space of those plans that fell through. And I'm grateful that she was there to help me do that, right? It could have worked another way. You never know what's going to happen with toddlers. She could have been like in a full tantrum and just kind of screamed down the place and bought because I wanted this. And you know, children at that age, they don't have all of the higher order thinking skills that we have as adults. Her brain is still developing. She's still learning to manage her desires and accepting that what she wants is not always going to happen. And, you know, delaying gratification and all of those things. That's something that she's learning. And to see her be able to delay gratification in that way. Yeah, I wanted to be on the plane right now, but if it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. Yeah, I wanted to see grandma today, but if it's tomorrow, it's tomorrow. And that for me was just like, whoa, that is mature, because inside of myself, I'm still twisting up. Right? So I was able to really model her behavior, take that spiritual teaching right there in the airport. So that was the first thing for me, the first big lesson. The second one, of course, is related to that. You can always change a plan, and changing the plan doesn't automatically mean that you're going to end up not arriving at the destination. You might not get there when you want to get there. You might not get there when you had planned to get there, but it's not automatic that you're never going to get there. So yes, the plan was to get there on a particular day at a particular time and do things in a particular way, but having to change the plan doesn't mean that you're no longer going to get to the destination or get the outcome that you had initially been working for. And I think we have to learn to practice patience and trust in that process. Again, we are not in charge of all the dynamics and all the variables and all the possible variations of the situation. We are not in charge of that. There's nothing we can do to be able to have 100% certainty about anything, no matter how you plan, no matter how you're prepared, no matter how you're ready. Some things will intercept. But a part of that good preparation is not preparing for things to work out the way you want, but having a sort of fail-safe strategy in there. In the instance of traveling, making sure you're traveling with cash, right? Because if anything happens, or with your card, if anything happens and you need to make additional expenditure, then you can do that. But the idea here is, while I plan to catch this flight, while I plan to work with this particular itinerary, while I plan this particular schedule, if it does not happen, there are things in place. There are safeguards, guardrails, additional resources that can facilitate a plan B if we have to get to plan B mode. I don't love a plan B. Plan A is always my favorite. That's why I named A, right? But be okay with using your plan B. Have your backup plan. Have your next option. Have your other option, just in case A does not work. Having a backup plan is not an expression of you lacking faith. It's being prepared. It's part of the preparation. And again, that was reinforced to me around being prepared. You know, we were able to leave there, check into a hotel overnight because driving back to Kingston was not an option. I want to big up the S Hotel team. First time again staying at S Hotel, I had to pick a hotel that was close to the airport because we not run a risk for nothing gonna happen and we're late again. So we were able to check in to S Hotel. The team there, you know, hearing our story of missing our flight, gave us a complimentary upgrade to their fifth floor, access to our own pool at the top, you know, not sushi night, seafood night, and it was, very exclusive and nice and bossy. And I appreciate them for extending even that courtesy, like recognizing that this must be a very stressful thing to have to do. And just choosing to do something that could add a little bit of light to that moment. And I'm very grateful to them for doing that. It was a lovely stay. The room service team, so very kind and patient and understanding as we work through the meal options for Zia, who is a picky eater. But we're getting there. We're working through it. But yeah, just being willing, emotionally willing to activate the plan B, being prepared first of all with a plan B, and being emotionally willing to activate it if you need to. I think a lot of us do not like to have to explore a plan B, much less to put it in place when A don't work out. But that take courage, you know. I know it take courage. I don't take for granted that when you have a plan and it don't work out, you can't just switch and just move on to something else. No, it takes courage. It takes courage to accept that what you want is not what's happening. It takes courage to accept that the plan you had is just not going to come to fruition. There is a lot of courage required in acceptance. And there's so many moments when I've been too afraid to accept something. Because if you accept it, right, if you decide that this is what it is, it means you're refusing to accept any other variation. You're accepting what is. So it means you can't accept what could be. You can't accept what should be. You can't accept what you did plan for. You have to just accept what is. And accepting what is. Oh, hopefully my audio is still good. Right, accepting what is can be a very scary game. Because accepting that means rejecting the other things. And that can feel like very scary. Like, how am I going to not have that? I planned on that. But it takes courage even to accept that what you wanted in plan A is not what you're going to get. That's the reality. And now we're going to move to plan B. So the suffering in that window that we spoke about, how long it takes you to accept A and then move to a next option, to a next step, and decide on what your next best step is. You know what that is, you know. But you have to take a decision that, all right, I'm going to make that next best step. Nobody can do that for you. You will have the clarity when you're conscious enough and willing to accept what is. You will have the clarity about what the next best step is. Nobody can have it for you. There are people who love you, who can see it from a perspective and offer you some guidance, but only you can know what that best step is. What I'm asking, what I'm praying, what I'm hoping, what I'm declaring over that situation for you is that you will have the courage to take the step. I'm hoping that you will have the courage to take the step. Many times we know exactly what to do, but it is the courage to take that step that stands in the way of our changing our circumstances, of us taking control of a situation, whatever control there is for us to take. So may you have the courage to take that next step, whatever that next best step looks like for you, because it might not be the same for all of us. So we are safely out, and as you would have known, preparing to head to Canada for a training series at the University of British Columbia. If you are in Canada, specifically if you're in British Columbia and Kelowna, I would have shared my email address for you to send me a note to reach out if you want to link up. We are organizing a link up, so we got confirmation today on the location, the time, and the date. So if you send me an email, you can look out for the official invitation allowing you to RSVP by about Monday or Tuesday. If you haven't already, send me an email at thesuccessfarmja@gmail.com, and we will share that invitation for you to RSVP as well. But you know, I'll still share something on the main page as an update, but letting you know here that we do have a link up set up for Kelowna in the coming week. So very excited to connect with the family that's in Canada, the members of the community that's in Canada, and just par and jam and have a little reasoning while I'm there. Very, very excited. It's my first time in Canada. I get to do what I love while I'm there, which is coaching. So I'm going to be doing a leadership and self-management training series with student leaders and management at the Kelowna campus for the University of British Columbia. So very, very excited about that, to be able to bring some of the practices, the strategies, the methodologies for self-management that have worked for me, that led to me creating my own planner, and that really undergirds a lot of the work that I do in the coaching and training space, to be able to bring that to a wider audience. It is a blessing, and to bring it to a wider multicultural audience too has always been a part of the vision. So grateful to be able to do it. I know Canada is not like Jamaica in any way, so while I'm looking forward to the link up with my Jamaican family there, I'm also open to the learning, the cultural learning that's definitely going to be happening. As I coach, I'm expecting to be coached and trained too in the cultural realities of living and working in Canada. So very, very excited about that, and excited about the persons who've reached out already to link up it aga happen and later will be greater. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this impromptu Saturday live. I should have had a bowl, like a bowl of Saturday soup. That's part of the reason, right? Because I sat there. But I'm hoping this has been fruitful and has hope you're hearing my audio. I don't see it blinking, so I'll take it that you're hearing me. But this really does bring to an end, or tell me if you're not hearing me here, because there's a call coming in that I declined. But sometimes when the call comes in, okay, thank you, Aunt Gina's Kitchen. Thank you. Right, so guys, thank you so much for connecting with me this evening. If there is any question that you have, of course, you can drop questions under the video when I post it, but it goes directly to YouTube after, so you can put the questions on YouTube. It's Krystal Tomlinson on YouTube. Of course, you can send me an email at any time, thesuccessfarmja@gmail.com. You can send me a DM. I try my best to answer the DMs. I think I do pretty well, but sometimes I miss them. So if you send a DM for like long time and you don't hear nothing from me, it's probably time to send an email for me to catch it. And if, of course, you want to purchase any of the products that we have, the planner, which I spoke about, the link is inside my bio on Instagram, or you can go straight to thesuccessfarm.com/planner. And if you want to register for my public speaking course, it's thesuccessfarm.com/speakwithcourage. So looking forward to sharing more with you, connecting more with you. Oh, I'm seeing badge notifications. Hey, Aunt Gina, thank you so much for purchasing a badge. And Kaki Corey, thank you as well. I hope I didn't miss any others. I just saw those two. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, guys, lots of love and lots of blessings to you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, the rest of your weekend, and I hope you have an amazing August. Lots of things are possible, even in spaces and moments where it feels impossible. So keep your eyes on the possibility. Keep your confidence high, your optimism high. Believe in yourself. Trust your gut. And be open and willing always to learn as you go. Yeah? You don't have to know everything right now to start. But trust yourself to learn as you go. Lots of love to you. Hey, Spicy Shakes. How you doing? Bye, guys. Have a great one. And thanks so much for tuning in.